Let's take a look at rational functions. Rational functions are going to come to us in the form of fractions. So we're going to have a numerator on top, which is going to consist of some type of polynomial, and in our denominator we'll have another polynomial. And we're going to refer to these functions as r of x. And in these questions we want to find the domain. So keep in mind, when you are working with fractions, the one number you never want to have is 0 in the bottom part of your fraction. So we need to figure out when our function is going to be undefined, and then we can go ahead and find the domain from there. So we're going to start by setting our denominator equal to 0. So in this function we've got 2x squared minus 4 on top and x plus 5 on the bottom. So let's go ahead and set the x plus 5 equal to 0. And we're going to go ahead and subtract the 5 from both sides. And this will give us an x value of negative 5. Now keep in mind, this is the one number that we're not allowed to use. If I give a little mini sketch here of what our graph would look like, this x equals 5 piece, right? This is an x value we're not allowed to use, and our graph is going to appear on the left-hand side and somewhere on the right-hand side of that. So for our domain for this function, we're going to have all values from negative infinity to negative 5. We'll have a parenthesis on that negative 5. And we're also going to have the interval from negative 5 with a parenthesis all the way to positive infinity. We'll get to a point where we actually graph the function on the grid. Let's take a look at the second one. For this example, we've got r of x equals 1 on top and x squared minus 4 on the bottom. And same idea, we're asked to find the domain, so let's go ahead and take our denominator and we'll go ahead and set it equal to 0. So we've got x squared minus 4 equals 0, and you have a couple different ways you could go about solving this one. Some people might want to go ahead and add 4 to both sides. That would be okay. That's going to give us x squared equals 4, and then we can go ahead and take the square root of both sides. And remember that when you take the square root, you're going to get both the positive and the negative version. So we're going to get two answers here, positive and negative 2. Right, the other way we could have approached this, if we go back to this piece where we had x squared minus 4 equals 0. Right, some students maybe wanted to factor this into x minus 2 and x plus 2. And then you could go ahead and set each factor equal to 0. We're going to end up in the same spot. Right, we're going to have our two answers here, an x value of positive 2, and we'll have an x value of negative 2. So if we go ahead and give ourselves a little mini sketch on our grid, at negative 2 and 2, those are the two values we're not allowed to use with regard to our x values. Okay. And our domain's going to sit in 3 different areas here. We have a left-hand portion, we have this middle portion between negative 2 and 2, and then we have this right-hand side. So for this example, when we're stating our domain, we've got the interval from negative infinity to negative 2 with a parenthesis. We have that middle interval from negative 2 to 2. And then we have that right-hand interval from 2 to positive infinity.